then that video should.
So you're under arrest, okay, for battery domestic violence.
Didn't do anything.
Patrick Mendes just won his divorce, not because he proved anything in court, not because of a trial or a custody hearing or some big dramatic reveal. He won it because Thais Ramone simply didn't respond in time. That's it. 21 days came and went, and now a judge could grant this divorce essentially uncontested. But to understand how we got here, to an arrest, a dropped case, a six-figure debt reveal, and a custody fight over a 3-year-old, you need the whole timeline. And trust me, by the end of this, you're going to have a very different opinion of at least one of these two than you do right now. Okay, so let's back up. If you don't follow this couple closely, here's the quick version. Patrick Mendes and Thais Ramone met through the franchise years ago, got married, had a daughter together named Aleesi, and have spent the last few years as one of those "we made it" 90-day fiancé couples. They went on to appear on Happily Ever After, and most recently, they were cast on 90 Day, The Last Resort, the new spin-off where struggling couples go to a literal castle in England to try to save their marriages in front of cameras. I want you to hold on to that detail because it's going to matter a lot later. In May, Patrick filed for divorce after 4 years of marriage. The official reason for the paperwork? Incompatibility. Pretty standard legal language, doesn't tell you much. But what was not standard was what came with it. Patrick is asking for sole legal and physical custody of their daughter, claiming that Aleesi had already been living separately with him since the beginning of May. He's also not asking for child support or spousal support, which, if you know anything about how messy these filings usually get, is actually a little unusual. Either he doesn't need it, or he doesn't want to be tied to her financially in any way going forward. You can read that however you want. Now, here's where it gets heavier, and I want to be really careful with how I cover this part, because this isn't the kind of thing you joke about. Just 2 days after Thaís was served the divorce papers, Patrick went to her home in Nevada so their daughter could say goodbye, before Thaís left for a trip to Brazil. According to the police report, an argument broke out while he was there. Patrick told officers that Thaís struck him during the confrontation and that he had marks on his face that were consistent with what he was describing. He also reportedly had video of the incident. Police arrested Thaís on a misdemeanor domestic battery charge that same day. Thaís's side of it, also documented in that same police report, was that she described Patrick as controlling and that she acted in self-defense during the argument. So you've got two very different framings of the same 5 minutes. And look, I wasn't there, you weren't there, and frankly, nobody watching this video was there. What we do know is what happened next. Prosecutors reviewed everything and ultimately decided not to move forward with criminal charges against her. The case was dropped. No conviction. No trial. So whatever happened in that house, the legal system looked at it and didn't find enough to prosecute. I bring all of that up not to relitigate it, but because it's the backdrop for everything that came after. Because here's the thing, both of their teams put out statements around this time, and they read almost identically. Both basically said the same thing. This is a private matter. Please don't speculate. Let's all show compassion and let the process play out. Which, fine, that's a normal thing for reps to say. But when both camps are using nearly the same language, the same tone, the same carefully neutral phrasing, you start to wonder if anyone's actually being honest here, or if everyone's just trying to control the narrative until they have to. And speaking of things that were being controlled very carefully, let's talk about the money. Because this is the part of the story I think genuinely got buried under the arrest headlines, and it shouldn't have. Court records show that Patrick and Thaís were dealing with serious financial trouble throughout 2025. We're talking lawsuits from credit card companies, lawsuits from a bank, and default judgments entered against them because, from what's in the filings, they weren't responding to those either. So while fans were watching this couple on Happily Ever After looking like they had their lives together, behind the scenes, they were apparently buried in debt that nobody on camera ever mentioned. That's the part that gets me. Forget the drama for a second. You've got two people who are now fighting over custody, fighting over a divorce, dealing with a domestic battery case, and underneath all of it there's a pile of unpaid debt and lawsuits that was apparently happening the entire time they were being filmed as this stable, happy couple. Makes you wonder how much of what we see on this show is ever actually the full picture. But hang on, because the part coming up might be the most telling detail in this entire story. On June 1st, right in the middle of all of this, Thaís posted on Instagram a cheerful, spicy 30, cheers to another year birthday caption. Talking about blessings, new beginnings, the whole vibe. No mention of the arrest, no mention of the divorce, no mention of any of it. Now, people are allowed to celebrate their birthday during a hard time. That's not a crime. But the timing, right after a dropped criminal case, right in the middle of a custody battle over her daughter. It's the kind of post that makes fans do a double take. Is that resilience? Is that denial? Is that just optics? You guys can decide that one for yourselves. Then comes June 15th. This is the moment we opened on. Patrick files for what's called a default divorce, or a default disposition. In plain English, that means Nevada law gave Thaís 21 calendar days to respond to the divorce filing after being served, and she didn't. So Patrick went back to court and essentially said, she had her chance to fight this. She didn't take it. Give me the divorce. If a judge signs off, Patrick could get exactly what he originally asked for. The divorce finalized, and very likely a serious advantage in that custody conversation, all without Thaís ever showing up to contest a single part of it. Now here's the detail that I think nobody is talking about enough. While all of this has been happening, the filing, the arrest, the dropped charges, the debt reveal, the default divorce, Patrick and Thaís have both still been cast on 90 Day The Last Resort Season 3. A show that is literally about couples going to a castle in England to repair their marriage in front of cameras. A show that is airing right now. Think about that for a second. The premise of that show is, can this relationship be saved? And in real life, off camera, this particular relationship was already falling apart in court documents before some of those episodes even aired. So where does that leave us? You've got a divorce that's about to be finalized by default, not by agreement. You've got a custody fight where Patrick currently holds all the cards, partly because Thaís hasn't shown up to contest anything. You've got a financial mess that predates the whole public collapse. And you've got a TV show selling the idea of reconciliation airing episodes of two people who, by the time you're watching this, may already be legally divorced. If that's not the most 90 Day Fiancé thing I've ever heard, I genuinely don't know what is. Here's my honest take. I don't think this is a story about who's the villain, because frankly, we don't have enough verified information to crown one. What I do think this is a story about is how much these couples hide from cameras and how much fans build entire opinions of people based on edited footage, while real-life debt, legal trouble, custody fights is happening completely off-screen. Patrick filing for a default divorce isn't really the ending here. It's just the moment the paperwork caught up to what was apparently already broken. So I want to know what you guys think. Do you think this default divorce is actually the end of this story, or is there more going to come out as this custody case plays out? Drop your take in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want to see just how chaotic this franchise has gotten this year, I just put together a full-ranked breakdown of every 90 Day Fiancé breakup of 2026 so far. And let's just say, this one isn't even a clean number one. Go check that out next. If you or someone you know is dealing with domestic violence, help is available 24/7 through the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233.